Look! Up in the air! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Three Wise Radio!
Well, that's disappointing.
What is this? Gene cream in time. For eternity. What sort of heaven is this? I'm in. You just hear a cosmic unzipping of the trousers.
My God, that's an infinity bone.
Nice, good one.
All this and a reminder to vote today on the show. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, the internet, technology, and pretty much everything else media related. My name is Joe Greller. I am one of the Three Wise Guys. Joining me as usual are the other two Wise Guys, Garret Welker and Sam Pixley. Good evening.
Good evening, Joe.
Yo.
Finally into November, which means
It's
Christmas time.
Christmas time.
well, yes, Christmas time, as we covered last week. But
Election?
yes, the election is finally upon us. So
Which means it can finally be behind us.
yes.
Yes.
And not nearly quick enough. So today we're going to talk about our favorite fictional presidents across all forms of media.
Okay.
The only restriction is they had to be named the president. So it could even be of the world, but they just had to be...
Oh, so you're looking at a broader scope here.
Even then, yes.
Could be
Okay.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. If you have a favorite fictional El Presidente, he counts. Or she.
Okay.
Just has to have president in front of it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Also, we'll be reviewing Doctor Strange as well, the latest Marvel film. And to do that with us, this is kind of taboo because normally he's our DCU correspondent. So what do we want to call him today?
Our senior just happened to be in the neighborhood correspondent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like Mr. Rogers.
Sure.
Charlie Pixley from Movie Versus is with us this week.
Except I don't have near as much class.
Or as many
As
sweaters.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes. Yeah, or,
You're like a modern day Mr. Rogers with memes instead of puppets.
Sure.
Just have a meme on each
I mean,
hand.
that's what they tell me.
Charlie is carrying his cell phone around. He does have memes on hand.
Yep.
Many of them.
All right, let's start with some headlines. First and foremost, there was a new Wonder Woman trailer this week, possibly giving us a little hint at the villain for the film.
Yeah.
Her name is blanking on me right now.
It's like Captain Poison or
Something like
Dr.
that.
Poison.
Something like
or
that. It's like a
Baron Von Bad Name. He's just got a horrible...
She.
She. But it's the thing that she does is in her name, so it's generally not a good sign.
True. Well, I mean, it's an original villain. I think it was like the second issue
sure,
or
yeah.
something, or like that. And actually, I'm happy about that because one, a couple weeks ago, I believe on the podcast, we were like, it takes place in World War I. I'm like, there should be mustard gas. So it's like, okay.
This
Yeah.
mustard gas
Forgetting
is
that.
worse.
And it crushes gas masks for
Yes.
some reason.
Yeah. Saw that.
Well, I mean, I think she's just going to be kind of the side villain, right? Are we assuming that general dude
He's gotta
is going to
be
be
Ares.
Ares?
I thought Sean Bean was playing Ares. Or did that never
Is
get
he in it?
confirmed?
Is he? I've never heard
I
if
don't
he's
know
in it or
about
not. But what's his name? Oh, he was Stryker in Origins, and
That's all
I
you
don't
need to
know his
say.
name.
It's not a big enough deal to merit knowing his name.
Well, they
I mean,
were in...
he's that guy.
He was
He's
in
one of those
one-on-one
guys, yeah.
combat with Wonder Woman, so in multiple shots, it's like, all right, he's got to be not
Yeah.
just normal human.
And I'm okay with that because that's one of the few things that like these DC films haven't really had is multiple villains used or
Yeah, it's fine by
utilized. So I'm interested. I would like to see more like than just like, oh, here's like the physical villain and then maybe here's the mental villain. Like that was one of the few things that overall Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy did really well was like implementing multiple villains as like a little thing here and there. So seeing, even if she's not the main villain, knowing she's in the movie, I think that's a good thing.
That
And it
plastic
saves-
mask makes me just think of the women that the Joker uses in the 1989 Batman movie, where they just have like the plastic mask.
Might be-
on their
might be one
faces,
and the same.
creations. Oh, yeah, multiverse.
Multiverse.
Confirmed.
And then also, as we talked about when I believe we talked about Wonder Woman a few weeks ago, the supposedly Christopher Reeve homage, or Richard Donner homage that she said she was going to do, you see a little bit of it in the trailer as well, in the alleyway with her stopping the bullet. It's almost an exact recreation shot of when he catches the... She blocks a bullet in front of Steve Trevor. Mm-hmm. It's almost an exact recreation of Christopher Reeve catching a bullet in front of Lois Lane, Margaret Kidder from the original Superman films.
Okay.
If you look at them side by side.
Incredible.
just not thrilled with this whatsoever.
I don't know. It's a great looking trailer.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it.
I can't wait to see how many jokes his secretary has, because it seems like
She's the comic relief.
Seems like she's gonna have all the jokes.
Very much so. All right, then let's get into a little bit of more depressing news. Deadpool 2 lost yet another person. Junkie XL has dropped now from the sequel project because Tim Miller's not directing.
Really?
That's it.
If it were just Junkie XL leaving, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But since it's him leaving after, what's his name?
Tim Miller?
Yeah, after he left, now it's kind of like,
Those question marks are starting to emerge.
Absolutely. Now, you were talking about earlier off air, Sam, that this was possibly a bigger problem with
Yeah,
more than
I
this.
just wanted to get people's perspectives on it. That it feels like now with the we talked about it last week, but with the leaving of the director from Flash, whose name I always
Rick Fumakua or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
something like that. With him leaving, with Tim Miller leaving for creative reasons, with Junkie XL leaving with him, does it feel like that these movies are starting to inflate to the point where all that matters is that the actors are in it and that the budget's there from the studio? Do you feel like they're starting to get to the point where it's going to start suffering because people behind the scenes are seen as less relevant because they know they're going to make the money anyway? I think you also had, Hans Zimmer. This is not like directly related, but Hans Zimmer also was like, I'm done with this. Like, this is
not
kind of
doing
old
anymore.
hat for me.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is becoming something that's a little draining on directors?
Probably, but I wish it weren't that way.
I mean, I think it's the beginning of the end. I really do. I think once we hit Infinity War, everything's going to just go straight downhill.
But I mean, we haven't really had those problems with a lot of Marvel movies, though.
No, but it started with Ant-Man. There was a little bit of stuff
Yeah.
behind the scenes on Ant-Man, and now with, I mean, not the Marvel movies per se, but we don't know. We know that Joss Whedon didn't want to go forward anymore, and we've heard other people behind the scenes say it's very controlling. Thor 2 had a little bit of that problem. That's where Patty Jenkins left and went on to do Wonder Woman. So, I mean, Marvel has had problems. It just hasn't been as
big a deal.
publicized.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
I'm a little concerned, but
Let's just get to Darkseid, please. I just need to make it to that point, then whatever.
Who knows
They
what?
can all
Did you see
stop.
they cast Steppenwolf, though, this
Yeah.
week? As well?
yeah, but how? Aren't they
Yeah,
already
Because I'm
done?
sure he's going to be the voice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure all the CGI is done.
Yeah.
Like,
Who'd
he's just...
Who'd they cast?
The dude
We
from
know him as the villain
Ghost
from
Rider.
Spirited
Spirit of
Vengeance.
Vengeance,
Bad
yes.
guy. He's in Game of
The
Thrones.
devil from. He's what's his name? The leader of the Wildlings, former leader of the Wildlings. Sorry, spoilers.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know who you're talking
He
about.
dies in that. In Game of Thrones.
Okay.
His
Well,
name's like John Candy, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking also of sequel news, did you guys ever want to see more of the girl with the dragon tattoo, the Americanized version? Because they made all
I
three.
don't know
can't wait.
anything about
Foreign
any
films.
of it, so.
Because if you are, apparently that is still going forward, and now Sony is courting Freddie Alvarez to
Is it the
direct
one-
it.
Is the American one the one with
Fetty?
Craig and...
Fetty, yeah, sorry,
Confetti?
Fetty.
Like
With the-
confetti?
Is the American one the one with Daniel Craig?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And a Mara.
Which one is this?
I don't know which Mara,
I think
but it's
Rooney.
Rooney Mara.
Is this
Okay.
the one girl kicks not a dragon's nest, but girl kicks a hornet's nest or something?
Yeah.
Or punches a hornet's nest? The
That's
movies,
this-
it's like the girl with the dragon tattoo, and then
Girl
it's
that
like
play with fire.
The
girl.
girl...
Yeah, it's just these girls
Girl
always
punches
being,
the hornets. Is that
Yeah.
I think it's maybe kick.
Isn't it?
Or something.
It's always like girls doing risky things. It just gets progressively worse. Like
Girl who killed a man.
Girl gets edgy tattoo. Girl attacks hornets. Girl is just fucking with fire at this point.
Yeah.
did not know that was the progression.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any
That's
more.
so lackluster.
I think
Like,
it's
girl
just
with a
3.
dragon tattoo sounds like just a mysterious person.
Yes.
Girl who kicks hornets, that just sounds like an American's Funniest Home Video moment.
No, it's because she's like poking the bear, which is the name of the fourth one.
Yes.
Girl poking the bear. No, I don't care.
Okay, good.
I'd only be remotely interested if Fincher was on for it again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's about it, though.
Even more sequel news, because
Great.
tends to be all Hollywood can do right now is just pump out franchises. Fantastic Beasts 2, even though the original hasn't yet debuted, there was some news for the sequel already.
Yes.
One, Johnny Depp's been cast in the sequel already.
Yeah, and people are pissed about it.
But it makes sense, I guess, because Sam, what's the most intriguing thing to you about Fantastic Beasts?
For me, it's to see American wizards.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone from the sequel.
Is it?
It's going to be taking place in Paris.
Oh, I don't care. The idea of a French wizard is gross.
But it makes sense about Depp, I guess, because isn't he a French citizen now?
What?
I don't know.
I think he's been one for a
Damn
while.
sure not an Australian one.
Well, yes.
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I think he is a citizen of not America. Yes.
Baguette wands.
And then, dude, it's not baguette wands. The wands are hidden in baguettes to
Oh.
conceal from
Muggles.
So you
not
can
whatever
conceal
the
and
French are
carry your
going to call
wands.
it.
Do you think that's a smart move? Because like you were talking about, like American Wizards was one of the things. And like, I will admit, I just saw the new trailer for the first time before Doctor Strange because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. But this one actually looked good. Like Harry Potter's always had like that
ton of stuff in
old timey feel of like, so modern day. It's kind of hard getting into like, oh, this is a person from the modern day going into this world. But it works for the 1920s, I feel.
Two things with that trailer. I already talked to them because we were in the theater together. Happy surprise for Doctor Strange. I could not understand what the fuck Eddie Redmayne says that entire trailer. Could you?
I don't know if I was
It
paying that
sounds like
close
he's
attention.
got like cloth in his mouth and is having trouble speaking. You didn't get that feel?
I think that's just him.
Yeah. Is that him?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in other stuff.
I've seen
Danish Girl?
no, the one he won the Oscar for. No, he won
Oh,
the Oscar.
Jupiter Ascending.
No, Stephen Hawking movie, Theory of Everything.
Oh, okay.
I saw him in that. But then again,
So I'm
he
not
was
going to know how he talks in that one. Exactly. No, yeah, because
you
it's
will. He
before.
talks,
It's pre-chair.
most of it.
I'm not allowed to use that spell.
Most of it's pre-share, but it's like as he did, goes down. So
Right.
I just thought he was acting. Maybe not. I
Only
don't know.
other thing that I'm excited about seeing in this movie is I want to see a wizard get shot with a Thompson. You see that scene where
what
they're in the
about-
alley and there's like 10 dudes lined up with machine guns? Like, I don't think wizards beat that.
Well,
no.
you think they're really going to go through with it?
I mean, I wish just to see.
Hey, Ron Perlman goblin troll thing though too. Gangster goblin.
Is that Ron
Yeah.
Perlman?
Yes. It looks pretty much like
There's some interesting things about it, but I'm not going to see it like right away. I'm not jumping at the gate to see it. I'd rather wait a couple days until it dies down a little bit.
Probably see it the weekend after opening weekend.
Yeah,
Let it die down a
We're
little bit.
reviewing it. It's Potter. People, it's in that
Yeah, you're
wheelhouse.
right. I'll fake it till I make it.
All right, fair enough. I've done that before with Harry Potter. Moving into some TV news. If Charlie's on the show, we have to have an Arrow story.
Sure.
So
What has
I
happened?
haven't watched this season yet
Nothing
though.
has
I'm going
happened?
to. I'm just
Has
been
something
behind.
happened that's merited conversation?
yes,
Oh.
I think with you specifically,
Okay.
Talia al Ghul has been casted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Huh. Interesting.
I forgot
that's
who it is.
awesome.
I forgot who it is. So it's not so much who they casted as Talia.
Just the fact that
Just the
Talia's
fact
cast.
that here is like we assumed the reason we got Nessa was because they were
he
never
couldn't.
going to do Talia.
Maybe they're just I don't know loosening up on it
Wasn't
a
this
little bit.
ever actually an actual like comic book character?
Nessa? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
She's
she
a-
really?
Yeah. She's like Roz has like a Japanese lover that I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and then she is another.
When was
daughter,
this
just like
introduced,
the
you know?
not cool
Like-
daughter. What?
When like
I would say within the last 30 years.
after New 52?
No.
Oh,
no.
before that. Okay. I just remember because like she debuted, like Nissa debuted on Arrow, and then shortly after I started playing like Arkham Knight, and Nissa's in that on one of the DLCs now, and I was like, wait.
Yeah.
She's an actual character. Okay.
As long as somebody can keep Wendy Miracle and Guggenheim in check, let them use whatever characters they want, I think, because I was really happy with how they did Superman and Supergirl. Very pleasantly
Really?
surprised. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I went back through and watched all of season 1, and I've started on season 2, and I thought it was a lot of fun as far as like, hey, this is a little weekly dose I can get.
See,
So,
I haven't started
whatever.
really any comic book TV show this year just because like I look at it and it's like looking at a mound of paperwork where you're
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
I don't even want to know where to begin or
Yeah,
want to start that.
I definitely feel that. I mean, I'm only 3 episodes into Flash, and then I think 3 into Supergirl, and then I haven't touched the other ones yet. I will, but it is a little daunting.
Yeah.
And
I
it-
just went through all of.
2003.
Okay. I just went through like all of the stuff they had to put up on Netflix. So I'm not.
I think that's what I'm waiting for at this point, and that's sad. It's just
What are you waiting for?
it to come on Netflix
yeah.
next year. Like
Yep.
it's too much.
I'll catch up in time to watch the crossover, though.
See,
just
that's
'cause
the only
that
thing
will
that
be
makes
something
me
that'll
want
be
to.
cool to each night of the week, basically. Sit down and be like, here's part 1 of this movie.
But that's
here's part 2, then 3, 4.
That would be cool, but like that's not what we do anymore as like a society. I mean, other
I
than
would
Game
kind
of
of treat it
Thrones-
like a special thing, though.
Sure.
I guess.
I mean, but
I
other
get what
than
you're
like
saying.
Game of Thrones and like to I think a certain extent, still maybe The Walking Dead, people don't gather on a certain night to watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really is like just an on-demand at your fingertips type deal. Mm-hmm. Which ruins it to where like this would have been a cool thing 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but
Yeah.
now I'm just kind of like, bah.
If Garrett called me and said like, "Hey, Legends of Tomorrow portion's on tonight. You coming over?" I'd be like, "No, absolutely not."
Hey, I'd be like, yeah, but I'm in St. Louis.
I will text you about it, even though I will not watch it.
I'll Skype in.
All right, last bit of television news. The Simpsons has been renewed yet again.
Jesus.
For another 8 years.
Only 2, but it's now
Only 2 years.
guaranteed to get through 30 seasons.
That's ridiculous.
600 episode event starts like tomorrow, doesn't it, or something?
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
I mean, I'll have it on every once in a while, but like,
I just don't believe that anybody still watches that show.
I think people
I think
watch The
people watch
Simpsons.
it, but I don't think people like. I think people watch it, but I don't think people go out of their way to turn it on that would merit it getting like the ratings that it does.
Like, oh my God, I better get home. Simpsons is coming on.
Well, no, but we just talked about it. I don't think anyone goes, I better get home.
true.
Anything's coming on anymore. But I think people still do go watch maybe like on demand or especially
Maybe.
now that you have the Simpsons World. I mean,
Could be.
at this point, Fox may just be doing it to be like another record.
It's got
Yeah.
that coveted Sunday night spot, right?
Is Sunday night a coveted spot anymore?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's a discussion for another time.
Time slots.
What's the coveted spot?
Not even coveted spot, but like we had our original streaming conversation about what 5 months ago now or something like that.
Yeah.
Almost like a spin-off of that topic to where it's does anyone watch normal television anymore, or is it all just streaming?
Like, does it even matter if a show airs at all anymore?
Right.
If it just goes straight to online.
Right, because we know people like even like we just said, Game of Thrones. People gather and watch that the night it comes out, but we know people that like stream it 2
Yeah.
minutes after it's released. They don't.
True.
People, yeah,
Sit
that's
down.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like, and the show's on. Okay, let's wait 2 minutes and stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they can track those numbers
I
better,
don't know.
too.
But you look at stuff with like Cartoon Network. Teen Titans Go has so many slots. Like over half of Cartoon Network's like programming is Teen Titans Go.
That's because you
that's
can
why
turn
they
it
have
on.
such good ratings. Is because it's on all the time. This is a real thing, and it's
I'm okay with it.
no. It's a horrible show.
It's funny.
I'm fine with that if it's just TBS showing all Seinfeld all day.
But I mean, like I feel like that's something that could tie into that with
Yeah. So look for that possibly in a future cast.
And now for the smooth sounds of Three Wise Radio.
The latest Marvel movie is in theaters right now, and if it follows every other trend, you've probably already seen it. Doctor Strange is out, and it's outgrossed, I believe, the first Thor for opening weekend and Ant-Man. So
It's like 375, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Those were just the
It hit
two
like
I saw.
300 overseas.
I think it was like 370. The last number I saw was like 375.
Okay.
They like killed it in China.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those are just domestic numbers I was looking at or whatever.
Yeah.
But for better or worse, this is like what? The 12th? 13th Marvel film
That, I would think.
in the series?
We're looking at like 13, 14.
13th or 14th Marvel film. All right, we'll do this the same way we normally do. We'll try and stay away from spoilers as much as possible.
Yo, dude, there are no spoilers for this.
Okay, you just assume people have seen it?
No. I'm saying it's a Marvel movie. Like, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we reach that point to where...
Yeah. For the most
Hold
part.
on. Saying 14th in a series is like exhausting just to hear. And I'm still looking forward to more, but it's like, no, this is like the 13th or the 14th one. Oh my God.
It's time to go.
No, not at all. It's like, that is impressive though still.
Yeah.
True. I mean, okay, so as everyone knows, we tend to tip a little bit more on the DC side of things, I think, to where other media outlets tend to tip more Marvel.
Let's talk about
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
Let's talk about Doctor Strange real quick.
The
'Cause he's
character
not-
or the movie?
The character.
Okay.
The character. So Stephen Strange, renowned brain surgeon. Many would call him Tony Stark light because it's essentially the exact same thing.
Especially in the opening.
Yeah,
I thought he
Just
changed
as a
Tony
character-
Stark,
I'm just talking
MD.
about as a character for people that might not know him very well because he's not one of the Avengers. was pretty shot for shot exactly what happens to him is what happened to him in the comics. And so what you saw, there's nothing really else that needs to be added. So that's kind of just who that character is. That's what kind of got me on it, is that it felt just like Tony Stark light. Anybody else feel that?
In the beginning, but I think he changed more into the character that, like, because I don't know anything really about Doctor Strange. What I know about Doctor Strange is whatever guest appearances he would do in Spider-Man as a young kid, or like if he crossed over into like the Civil War comic, or he's just this mystical.
Wasn't one of those.
Yeah, he's this mystical entity, and I'm like, oh, he's Marvel's Doctor Fate. Like that's it. Like that's what I know. So I didn't know a whole ton. So watching him kind of do his like Batman Begins montage of like 40 minutes of training, and like I'm not going to be in the desert for like a half hour, build a suit, and then go. Like I'm failing. They thrown me in the deep end to try and do these magics. It was a little bit, I don't know. It made me feel a little bit more for the character, especially like once he became a little bit more understanding and more to the character that I would see in those guest spots of like, I'm now the wisdom guy, and will come in and say a weird proverb and then back away. Like,
So Mike, am I the only one that didn't super dig this?
I wouldn't say I super dug it, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. I enjoyed myself more than I thought I would.
I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like overly wowed by it.
Yeah.
I mean, visually
Stunning.
it's one of the most appealing. I would actually say, sorry, Garrett. I would actually say more visually appealing than Guardians, I think.
Yes.
Why'd you say sorry to me for that?
As I know you love Guardians.
You like Guardians, I guess.
Hey,
I didn't know if I was going to strike a nerve.
I do have to mention, I was hoping so badly when he was driving the Lamborghini before the crash that what would make him crash would just be like an O'Doyle rules banana peel on the road. He just started
Something.
Really? Because there wasn't enough like just straight up slapstick gags.
Oh
like
no!
him running in
that was one of my
place.
biggest problems with the movie.
Yes.
Was the humor? Just in my mind, I love the idea of a banana peel making a car crash.
I mean, it
Yes,
would
make it the accident of a banana peel and not him being cocky and looking at his phone and driving super fast in the rain.
Or
Definitely
maybe-
steal that whole
maybe he's
element
cocky
from
enough
it.
that I bet I could nail a banana peel.
Dr. Stephen Strange, do you want to take this case? Nah, I'm about to nail this banana peel.
That gorilla just threw it out of a go-kart in front of me.
I mean, like, yeah, so the character I thought developed a little bit more over time, but it did suffer a lot of the flaws that in Marvel we've come to know about Marvel movies. Weak main villain, too much comedy, I would almost say at certain points.
I feel like
I feel like
Forced
because I remember
comedy.
they said somebody came in and added humor scenes, and I was talking to Sam about it. Like, okay, the Mr. Doctor thing, something like that came up in a more natural way. I
That was
fine with
funny.
jokes
That was
like
fine.
that. Yep, that makes sense. But then like the Beyonce stuff, okay, that just seemed like a little
It wasn't
like
the Beyonce-
crap. We got to add jokes to this. I
Gotta be
forgot.
insert humor here.
Right, and maybe I don't know, like I said, don't know Strange enough. Is the cloak like someone who's always given him trouble or something? Like, I don't...
The cloak of levitation.
Yeah.
And it
Because, like, it seemed
no,
almost like...
no, it is not the magic carpet from Aladdin.
Okay.
If that is what you're wondering.
Basically, yeah,
it is not.
It was!
But it was. No, I do not believe it is. The only thing from the comics that I really enjoy about Doctor Strange, there's kind of two things that I enjoy about it. The one thing that I like when reading his comics is that whenever he casts spells, he announces what they are. So, like, when he does something, he'll do, like, six-sided spell of apparition to make him appear or do something. So I always like that he kind of, like, announces the spells, and I think it's interesting to see, like, what book the spell came from and, like, what there actually are. That's kind of cool. They didn't do that in this, but that's... I mean, I get it for the sake of a movie. You don't
They
want
tried.
to just throw that in.
And he didn't do his like normal hand pose.
He
either.
did it
I
at
thought
the
he
end.
would.
At
the very- he did the very
I
end.
didn't
And I'm
see
okay
it.
with that because, like, he's still not him until, like, the very, very end.
Right.
I guess
The
I just
Sorcerer
didn't
Supreme.
notice it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did like the gloves and the after credits seemed kind of cool though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
I'll be interested to see, because also the thing you like about Strange and he's the Sorcerer Supreme is if you see, what was the comic? Civil War. Not the movie, but the comic. Someone does show up to him. I think it's a Watcher. Is just like curious with him because he's just meditating in like another plane. He's like, Steven, you know you could end all of this with a word, and he's like, that's why I can't. I gotta let it play out. So I'm hoping that like with the way that this is kind of orienting, that he knows like you can't mess with that. You have the power to do this, but you definitely can't.
Shouldn't.
So I like that they kind of introduced that, but they didn't go full throttle with it.
Okay, let's talk about the two villains real quick. Because I'm okay with one, not okay with the other.
I think I agree with you.
Do you?
If I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you might or might not. So
Mad Mike, Matt Nicholson.
Matt Mickelson, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
He was just
Same here.
He was fine because they'll claim that he's another underdeveloped villain.
He was.
But when you think about it, there isn't enough time to develop him
Right.
in this movie. You're introducing a whole nother world like you did in Guardians and in Thor. So you've got to build everything else. Now you have an origin character again that people really don't know. So where people don't want to see Krypton exploding for the 15th time or Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot, we need to see the car accident and his struggles to go through this to become the Sorcerer Supreme. The villain I have a problem with is Dormammu, who's basically Parallax from the freaking Green Lantern movie, just with waves going through his face.
I thought he looked like Thanos. His like purple and rippling face kind of looked. I don't know if that was maybe on purpose, but I was a little underwhelmed by him.
Hey, he still looked closer to Galactus than Galactus did.
Fact.
Fantastic Four.
Very, very true. I thought it was okay. I would have liked to see like the flaming head and
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
I mean, that's fair, but to me, it was the exact same thing as Green Lantern. Your final showdown was just
Meh.
a giant ball of floating CGI. And so,
Also voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
yeah.
It was nice seeing
Was
Peter.
it really?
Dormammu was Benedict, yeah.
I did not know that.
no, it wasn't voiced by him. It was just it wasn't voiced by him. It was another British guy, but it was screen captured. His face was screen captured.
But there were so many ripples, though. I could have done that, I think.
Yes. It's called You Don't Have to Pay Someone Else.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do during a lunch break or something.
Hey,
They just
Ben,
filmed
get in
him
here real
during
quick.
a lunch break, just eating and moving his mouth. Got it.
So yeah, it was Dormammu. Although I did like the fact that he probably spent a lot greater time in there than they let on, just repeating the ending scene.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they didn't just have him cast some spell or something to beat him. Where like I
Right.
got the ultimate power spell to beat him. It's like,
Because I
okay,
wanna
no, it's
say-
a little bit more clever than that.
Right, because I want to say I remember from like, once again, I think everything I know about Strange is based off his appearance one time in Spider-Man the Animated Series. Is like, no, he battled Dormammu for like years and years and years. You know what I'm saying? And like, this would give you a way to do it without having to do it to do it.
Yeah.
By battle. You mean
Die.
Die over and over and
Do
over.
the Live Die Repeat Tom Cruise movie. Just with
Who wins
Dormammu.
that fight?
I've never seen.
Doctor Strange.
Tough to say.
Oh, what I was gonna say is comparing Mads Mikkelsen, right? That's his name. His character, as opposed to the Dark Elf Malekith in Thor: The Dark World. At least with Mads' character, I don't need to know that much more about him, just because he definitely plays a part of like he's the failed student of what Strange could become, or
Right.
the person before him. So that's fine. Whereas Malekith is a totally different character from a totally different species that I wanted to learn more about, and really she didn't get jack shit with him.
Good point. That's
So-
a fair point.
I thought that kind of works then in, what is it, Caecilius or something?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
His
Yeah.
role, I thought
Now
was
that
fine
being
then.
said, the Doctor Strange sequel, I think will finally get a well-developed villain.
Mordo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll set up a more personal story because you already fought your big bad. Marvel always does this.
I know. Well,
Sheogorath.
well, here's the thing. This originally, when Favreau planned out the Iron Man trilogy, and it was going to be Iron Man, maybe, they didn't have this whole big universe. The Avengers wasn't set from day one.
Yeah.
It was going to be, the Mandarin was going to be the original villain, and Obadiah Stane was going to be the villain for the third film, and you were going to see his descent into Ironmonger. And so they said, Mandarin might be kind of racist, screw it, throw that out, put in Obadiah for the first one. And I feel like that set a trend and a precedent for, other than Loki, here's just villain, 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 villain.
Yeah, and like with Mordo, I'd even be all right if they didn't do him for the next one. If they were going to do 3, I'd say almost build him up in the backstory still of 2 throughout, doing some stuff, and then pull him in at the end then. But
No, I would agree.
I'd be fine with that.
It's what makes Vader one of the best villains of all time. Because if you look at A New Hope, Vader is almost as shallow as the Marvel villains. He's barely on screen. Like, you just get hints about what his past is. It's not till Empire where you get a little bit more, and then Return where you really get to know a lot of the backstory.
And the Yub Nub song.
Not anymore.
It's a key factor.
Not anymore. Which they need to bring back.
Yeah.
I guess
In each one.
My biggest, my overall kind of stance on this is I I'm very interested in learning more about the kind of like the arcane arts and stuff that Marvel's introducing. I think this was definitely a good step into the direction of the future, which I think he clearly is going to replace Robert
He's
Downey
going to be the
Jr.
leader,
as
yes.
the leader. So I think they're on the right track with this. What I felt like this movie was, I don't want to say cookie cutter because that sounds insulting, but like Ant-Man felt like, oh, they tried to make a heist movie. Winter Soldier felt like, oh, they're doing an espionage thriller. Like, you get some of those movies that are very specific and they try something new, whereas this felt like a very cookie cutter Marvel movie. Luckily, we had magic and spells and really cool visuals to mask all of the imperfections about this movie.
You know, I think as far as this movie, I actually could have done with swapping out a few more of the fight scenes with more of the scenes of them just talking about the mystic world and the magic and learning about that stuff, because that was some of my favorite like parts of the movies. Mm-hmm. So I definitely could have used some more of that, and I felt like if you did that, that might have helped fix what you're saying, you know, instead of just like fight scene, do this.
Yeah,
fight
yeah.
scene, do that. Not the fight scenes were cool. Don't get me wrong.
But
I just really I liked the stuff that wasn't action too. It was
the first half of it felt a little more conceptual. It felt a little
I agree.
more like there was a little more introspection there, and then kind of as it waned on, it just here we go. Bad guy does a thing, good guy does a thing, bad guy does a thing, then big bad guy does a thing. There we go. Yeah. So it kind of broke apart to me at the end. Still very cool. I think it's on the right track, but I think it's going to get too much credit because it is visually stunning, and I feel like it is new, but it's also the exact same thing at the same time.
I'll give you that.
Hey, if I had magic though, I wouldn't just use it to make me walk again. Only that. Come on.
Oh, you're talking about the basketball guy?
I'd get rich or something at least.
That's all I wanted. And he knows magic
to play basketball like under a bridge?
That's the best place to hoop,
I guess.
In New York.
I feel like there's better places to hoop in New York.
Oh, we didn't touch on
Madison Square Garden.
Rachel McAdams was really good.
She was. I think she was great. There was too much of the whole Pepper Tony, I thought.
I think she did
correlation.
better than Pepper.
Oh, I would agree. I mean, you can see where her character's going to go and how she's going to turn out.
She was pretty chilling about the whole magic thing.
Although there is one thing, when he is first with the Ancient One, he's like, I don't believe in chakras and all this stuff. I wish he would have addressed, like, I don't believe in more of just the mystical stuff, because, I mean, we are in a world now where there are aliens and portals and stuff that open, so he's like, unless I can see it, I would have liked him to say something like that, but then I guess she does show him the stuff. But he was trying a little hard during that part, like, all this stuff is fake bullshit. It's like, dude, there's been so much crazy stuff in this world that has happened now. I'd be open to, like, you know, it could be.
Well, I mean, he's a doctor of Western medicine. He's not gonna. He saw it. Or at least I perceived it as this way. But he saw it as like holistic medicine, whatever. Fuck that. Sort of thing. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh, there was the one thing that totally threw me out of the movie, and it's like 2/3 of the way through, and it was when spoilers, which we're already full in, when the Ancient One takes a big dive and goes into surgery, and he just walks in and goes into the surgery room and is ready to do surgery, and he's holding the knife, and then he's like, nah, other doctor, you do it. I was like, wait, what is this hospital doing? Who's in charge here? Rachel McAdams is a nurse. She's not running the show.
I think it's just because he's so world-renowned. It's probably like the best surgeon in the world that people are good.
I mean, let's remember, Hydra was looking
He
into
shows
him
up
3
after
years ago.
months wearing
Maybe
some weird-ass
years.
clothes.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I need to operate. And they're like, well, yeah. Totally.
Hey, weren't you just in here with a knife wound a day ago?
Yeah, I'm like, so trust me, I'm already better.
That part for me took me out of it so much because I
that
think it
dude's
was
got a cape on. We better listen to
I think
it.
it was supposed to be a big moment where he was like, "No,
I
someone
trust
else
other
can
people."
do the scalpel." Like,
And it was the dickhead doctor from earlier.
yeah, that's just that really threw me out of it.
No, that makes sense, though.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, I mean,
Oh,
your frustration makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so instead of giving it our normal rating system, because we just assume people are going to go see this in theaters,
Yeah.
where would you rank it? You know, we don't know how many anymore, so just give me like an area: bottom tier, middle tier, upper tier of the Marvel.
God tier.
Disappointingly mid tier.
Disappointingly mid tier. Okay.
I would say higher mid tier.
It's so close to being high tier, but it just wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett?
I'd say like upper middle tier.
Upper, okay.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing because we got to remember how many bad ones there are too that just like load the bottom and then also the middle bottom.
Okay, I guess here's my question.
There's at least
This is
6
kind
of them.
a different one. Was this better than Ant-Man? I say no.
Yes,
really
but
liked
for
Ant-Man.
different reasons. Like I enjoyed both of them, but for different.
hard
Like
for me to
Ant-Man's the
compare 'em.
humor. Like I'm not going to sit down and want to be. I'm going to want to watch moments from Ant-Man, but I'll want to watch this entire movie for the visual again.
Right, but then you're watching it for a visual. So couldn't you also just watch the trippy visuals in like an 8-minute segment?
I almost feel like Ant-Man's story was more cookie cutter, though. You think?
The villain was for sure, but I also
Because
liked
that's
the
like
idea.
the exact same villain where it's like, oh, I'm the same version
Yeah,
as
and
you.
that's Marvel. So
Yeah.
I'm saying is you can't count that against Ant-Man and not against this.
But I don't think the villain was like the same version as him, though.
In what do you mean?
Well, I was saying comparing to Ant-Man, where it's just Ant-Man.
I'm
dark.
you, but better.
Yeah.
They're the exact same thing, except instead of he uses invisible spears.
Yeah, but he's not the only bad guy, though.
Yeah, there's there's a big space guy that doesn't do anything until the last 5 minutes.
I guess, but he's running, he's like the cause of the story and everything.
Villain.
So go see it. You probably already have.
Losers always complain about their best. Winners go home and listen to Three Wise Radio.
But on the release day of this issue, it is the election day in the United States. Not so much if you listen to it after November 8th. But if you listen to it on the day we release these, hopefully you're voting today. Hopefully you did vote.
Or die, you guys.
Oh,
Remember when that was a thing? Probably.
it wasn't like 2000 or something? Like
That was pretty. Yeah.
2004?
I don't think vote or die would be a very strong campaign anymore. Now it's just like, please vote.
pretty much. So instead of taking a political look at the actual candidates, we thought we'd take a more historical look at the great presidents of the past that have either graced our televisions, comic books, cinema, or anything and everything. So if they were president of something, they count. President of the world, president of Mexico, president of Australia. I don't
President
think Australia,
of a company?
but if you can figure it out, no, had to be like electoral
Okay.
office. Maybe if they were elected to be the head of the company,
Sure.
we'll count it.
Is that Billy Madison?
I don't think he was elected. I think it was more of a game.
Just checking.
I'm going to go with my favorite off the top of my head would be President Palmer from 24.
David Palmer.
Yes.
What are we basing this off of?
It's your favorites. We're just going through the best fictional president because no one's thinking about past fictional presidents. Like no one's no one's sitting down today and being like, "Oh, Aaron Eckhart from Olympus Has Fallen." Like that was a great fictional president. But like if you like that person for a certain reason, then just it's just more of like a, oh yeah, those are cool things.
I like that dude that was the president in The Dark Knight Rises for like 10 seconds on the TV.
Very compelling. It cannot be man in war room.
Pretty much,
And I
yes.
swear, if
The silhouette
Wait,
of
that may be
shoulders
the
and back
president.
of
How the
head.
president was billed though in Doctor Strangelove.
yeah, probably.
Man in war.
Unfortunately, this ousts what's his name from Independence Day. But if you were ever a president that has said the words "God have mercy on us all,"
Oh, I was going
you're
to say
out.
the
You're out.
president
What?
from Dawn
No,
of
I
Justice
don't
would be the
need
best.
that.
You do know that is the actual nuclear launch code, though, right?
God have mercy on us all.
I believe
Yes.
so. They're supposed to say something like that.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Okay.
Authenticity.
What?
Authenticity, man.
Prove it.
That's a
Prove
lot.
it.
It's not. I don't think it's like.
Prove it.
I don't
That's
think it's
you
like
chopped out a
the official
huge
code,
bracket,
but it's
though.
part
I
of
know.
it where it's like the official. Okay, we're doing this.
I call baloney.
Okay, then I'll go reverse, and I'll just start naming some off the top. I'll go reverse. Tim Robbins doesn't say, "May God have mercy on us all." And Austin Powers, a spy who shagged me, he wants to blow up the moon, and all he asks is, if, "Would you miss it?"
Yeah, that's fine.
God.
Sir, are you suggesting we blow up the moon? Would you miss it?
I think you would.
Not immediately.
Yeah.
What was it about?
Wouldn't it throw off all of the
Yeah,
tides?
dude, I live in Missouri. It's not gonna affect me for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. It's about number one. What did you like about David Palmer?
He is just like the ideal president in that. Okay, this dude's got control of shit. He's willing to unleash Jack Bauer using methods that usually don't work in real life. but in the fictional world of 24, they do. And I don't know, he just seems to be
also-
running a
he's-
very tight ship.
I think he's dirty though one season, or I think he
Fake dirty, I thought.
is it fake dirty? He's
And
good
actually,
press.
you know what? Never mind. He's not running a very tight ship. If every year there's a fucking catastrophic level terrorist event about to happen.
So you're passing?
Yep. Never mind.
Oh, good. He had a good run. Who's okay? So
got a good attitude,
until
though.
we
I
get
wanted
to where I
ask
think we're
this
all
because
winding
the
up.
best president. No, probably you and I are because those two haven't seen the
I
best
know.
president movie. Who's the funniest president?
We were supposed to watch it yesterday.
What? Who's the funniest president?
Camacho.
Come on, President Camacho from Idiocracy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's a good possibility.
He did adopt the idea to sprinkle crops with Gatorade.
Brondo. That's I remember the name now. Brondo.
Sorry. Why is it? Because of the electrolytes, right?
Yes.
That's a good point.
It's what
Wasn't
plants
Man of the
crave.
Year? See, it was you consider him a funny guy? Robin Williams
The
as
Robin
president?
Williams one, he never was actually president. He was
Oh, yeah,
president-elect,
right. Okay, so
and
it doesn't
then Jeff
count.
Goldblum was like doing Goldbloomy stuff behind the
Mm.
scenes.
Head of state was the Chris Rock one, right?
Yeah, where he gets elected at the end. If you want to go back to like some more old school stuff, Lloyd Bridges in the Hot Shots movies.
Which president was best in the 18 different My Date with the President Daughters movies?
There's 18 of them.
There's not 18 of those, but I think there's at least 3 with that idea. One of them is with Katie Holmes. I know that. It's called like First Daughter or something.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I remember seeing that.
Then there's another one with the
Blockbuster.
dude from Boy Meets World where it's My Date with the
My
President's
Date,
star.
yeah. Because they made a song about it.
Yeah, they did.
I think it just goes My Date with the President's Daughter. Or
yeah.
Did this
Over
come
and
out
over and
before
over
or
again.
after First Kid with Sinbad?
I'm going to say, because it's Sinbad, I'm going to say after.
Oh, you don't mean it was that Sinbad movie that came out last year?
Which one is that?
Doesn't exist.
Another
good one.
Another funny president might be George Clooney from Spy Kids 3D. The fact that George Clooney was actually president in anything.
George.
Can we give a nod to an underappreciated? Actually, he was a shit president. Sorry, Mars Attack.
Jack Nicholson?
Yes, Jack Nicholson. He doesn't do a great. He tries.
Actually, he might also be up there for funniest president as well.
Yeah, he is a weirdo.
Forgot about that. I love that movie.
There was a scene where he like tries to be suave and like negotiate with the alien, but you're almost kind of happy that the alien killed him because he's just kind of
That's a great
he's bugging me out.
Hey, the president in National Treasure seemed like a nice guy.
Book of Secrets. And we never found out what he wanted. That guy? I don't trust that guy.
You mean just the guy at the very end? It's like, hey, you can have access to this thing.
The dinner party or whatever. Where they,
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, he does kidnap him at the dinner party. No, I don't want that as my president. He's not strong. We just let somebody kidnap you, take you around.
I think we're thinking too small. One of my favorite presidents is president of the world, actually. President Lindbergh, who you might know better as Tom Lister Jr. or as Debo, the president from Fifth Element, who sends Bruce Willis on this mission.
Yeah.
He was a great president.
Would you say, I mean, what are even the qualifications?
They had to be
You have to
elected.
be at least 35 years old. You have to be a citizen of the United States of America.
Not
No,
president of the world.
I don't know what the qualifications were for
Oh,
that.
for that?
I remember in Meet the Blacks in our first episode of Movie Versus, Steve said that the president was played by George Lopez, but I can't remember what his character's name is. And it's some play off of Obama, but they made it Spanish sounding, and I don't even want to attempt to say it unless I know it for certain. So I imagine he'd be a pretty terrible president.
Yeah. Has Morgan Freeman only played the president once?
Deep Impact.
Yeah. It seems like more, doesn't it?
He's played God.
Well, that's a type of president.
Can we count Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yes,
It was before his presidency,
Yes.
though. Pre-presidency.
But okay, you're right. No, we can't then.
Okay, can we watch this? Can we count the sequel?
Not till the
Lincoln.
sequel.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't want to because it's just man in hat.
It's a big hat. You just really don't like, what's his name?
Daniel
DDL.
Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. I think what we're finding here is presidents are actually really shallow characters because
Yeah.
Unless they maybe get time to evolve over time, like the Sheen. I don't want to say the wrong
Martin?
Sheen. Martin Sheen. Thank you. I didn't
the
want
West
to say
Wing?
the wrong.
we are notorious for getting
Martin
the
and
wrong
Michael
Sheens.
We are. But Martin Sheen from The West Wing, like you follow him for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of character development. I think people liked him.
What happens after he leaves?
Jimmy Smith becomes president, I believe. Or at least he ran. And then it lasted, because it goes 7 seasons. And I want to say Jimmy Smith's the president for like the last 2 years on it.
All right, so I want to get 2 verses done. Because these movies are so similar, who's the better president? Olympus Has Fallen or White House Down? So we have
And which one is
Jamie,
which again?
Jamie Foxx
Is White House down?
is
right?
White House Down, and Aaron Eckhart is Olympus Has Fallen. Who do you want to be your president out of those 2?
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart? Because Jamie Foxx uses a or a grenade launcher, I believe.
That's
yes.
very reckless as a president.
Sometimes you just gotta shoot a grenade launcher. You go Aaron Eckhart?
This is a tough choice.
It is a tough choice. They're essentially the same character in the same movie.
They really are. I'm going to say Jamie Foxx because I feel like he would have gotten elected over Aaron Eckhart if we were actually doing an election.
vain.
Does Jamie Foxx's character have like military experience?
Yeah, he flew those stealth fighter jets.
Stop that.
Oh, yeah.
Stop that.
It's all connected, man. You did not know it's the same universe? It's a shared universe.
Makes sense. No, because remember, Jamie Foxx got all upset with a guy for scuffing his sneakers.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna have to go Aaron
Vain and
Eckhart as well.
impulsive.
Yeah, but if Aaron Eckhart happens to get like half
Wait,
his
did you
face
say
blown off,
Jamie Foxx got mad at a guy for scuffing his sneakers, so I'm going to go with Aaron Eckhart?
Yeah,
Okay.
if Aaron Eckhart
gets half his face blown off, he'll be totally
yeah,
corrupt.
screwed. Well, half screwed.
That's tough.
I mean, it's not so different than our normal political system. Everything is based off a coin flip.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Jamie Foxx then. I think.
I'm sticking with Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, I went with Fox.
I mean, you can't go wrong with
Even though I
pilot.
prefer Olympus Has Fallen, I would take Fox over Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, I guess Fox wins.
Damn.
He seems a little less reliant on Channing Tatum than Aaron Eckhart is reliant on.
Aaron Eckhart is extremely reliant on Gerard Butler.
Well, I think he just sits in a chair the whole time.
Aaron Eckhart?
Aaron Eckhart's not great. Yeah,
No, he's not even sitting in a chair. He's tied to a post or something like that the entire time. He's kidnapped and just.
Is it like the Japanese in that movie?
I think it's the
I don't know.
Koreans. I think it's North Korea. When in doubt, you go to the country that you're always warring with. So, like in the 50s, it was Russia.
Are we not currently at war with Japan?
No.
No.
Haven't been for quite some time.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Not since like
I knew
I
that,
have
guys,
some newspapers to show you. Sam.
from the last 40 years.
Oh, look at that. Dewey defeated Truman. What's the other verse?
Well, it's not even fair because it's the greatest president of all time versus
Has Nick Cage ever been
Independence Day
president?
president.
What is Pullman's name in that movie? It's like James Marshall versus
He's
who?
a pilot. He belongs in the air.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Jamie Foxx then also deserves to win, like we said, because of stuff.
So Bill Pullman versus Harrison Ford. I
Yes.
have to go with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford is the best.
I mean, he is
His name's James Marshall.
yes. Like, I mean,
It's a great presidential name.
that movie. I watched like the beginning of that movie again recently, and it's just like it is so just like
Kick ass.
cookie cutter. Like, this guy's a good guy. I'm gonna vote for him because like there's like a little crisis, and then like they solve it right before the plane takes off, and like, by the way, Michigan won today, and he's like, all right. Like, it's like good for you.
He's a guy.
Like,
He's
yeah,
just a
like,
guy.
it's just
He leaves a summit saying that he will never respond to terrorism, then is immediately forced to respond to terrorism.
They're faced with two pretty different situations, though, to compare their skills, I guess.
they
Yeah,
are.
one man has the entire world at his disposal. The other one is fighting for his entire world, his family, and has nothing at his disposal.
but his fists.
Isn't there even a line in Air Force One where they're like, oh man, Air Force One has been taken. Is the president's on board? Oh man, and then some lady is like, well, if there were ever a president to be able to do this, it's him. He's an ex-soldier and he's special ops, and you give that man a gun, there's nothing he can't do. Isn't that like a moment?
Yeah.
Oh, you two haven't seen it.
I've seen it. I just don't
Damn it.
remember it.
How have you guys not seen?
I've
Air
seen
Force?
it. I just don't
Okay.
remember it.
Out of all
I was
the
planning on watching it yesterday, but it just didn't
all the
happen.
plane-based hostage movies, it is the best one.
Bullshit. Con Air.
No, it's better than Con Air, and I love me some
Really?
Cusack
It's better
and
than-
Cage.
In,
Oh my
in
God.
terms of actually being better,
movie?
it is.
Well,
Yeah.
then how are you going to say any Nick Cage movie's good, then?
Because you compare them to other Nick Cage movies. Self-contained universe.
Fictional.
have to
What
see
about
it then.
fictional versions of real presidents?
Abe Lincoln Vampire.
Yeah.
No, like Ronald
Wait,
Reagan
you
in the
said
Dark
fictional.
Knight Returns, sending Superman after
It's kinda
after
shitty
Batman,
of him.
or
Yeah, I
Nixon
didn't
in
think to include
I don't know
Watchmen?
enough about history to say who I think would
Yeah.
be best. I like how you're going to all of the comic book oriented ones and not any of like the biopics.
Yeah.
We know what we can talk about.
Because if it's a biopic, it's not.
What about Lex Luthor? I mean, if we go through an entire list of fictional presidents and you don't mention Lex Luthor,
He should
it's
have been
kind of
mine because he was president at the end of Smallville.
not at the. Oh, he was in
Yeah.
the comic. Yeah, you're
Done.
right. He was. Yeah, Loki was president as well. What did Loki do while he was president?
I don't know.
Luther just basically did more of the same. Only it's like you're corrupt in politics now instead of business.
Perfect.
Got it.
So what did Loki do?
Probably grinned a lot.
Like, what did he do?
That.
Okay. Because, like, the god of mischief, like, I don't know.
Hijinks.
Yeah, like, I'm just thinking, like, what orders could the president give where it's like, Loki, like, look at what he's doing. Like, I know it's probably starting war in the Middle East or something, but it's like, you're like the god of mischief. And,
Whoopsies.
like, yeah, like, as president.
I don't know, man.
Probably. I'm guessing it wasn't a long arc.
Oh, there's tons, but I mean,
I'm sure
like,
there are, but none of them do anything.
no.
I know, isn't Linda Carter playing the president in season 2 of Supergirl? I haven't gotten there yet, but I
Yes.
think she
Yes.
is.
Madam
So-
President.
Which is fine. That's a good thing for her.
For Linda
Yeah,
Carter.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, she needs to be, like,
She needs work. Yes.
She needs
yes,
getting
but like
money
every
to
other
continue
superhero,
living.
like you know, every other superhero person, like this person was Wonder Woman. I don't think you're
Yeah,
gonna
give
sneak
her
her
the
in the
nod.
film. So, ooh, what about never mind. No, that was the mayor. I was gonna say Futurama, but they always dealt with the mayor, not the president.
I thought Mayor Adam West for a second. Family Guy. I always enjoyed that.
Yeah, that too.
Futurama is President Nixon.
Yeah, eventually, but not in the beginning.
Of Futurama?
Yeah.
Isn't he? I thought he
Not
was.
He gets
originally.
elected. He gets
But
elected.
he does
like,
get elected, yeah, because he runs
season
against
2 or
Bender or
3.
something.
It's
Doesn't
one of the
something weird.
requirements.
to run against Bender.
No, to be elected.
Yeah.
Mission
Yeah.
accomplished.
Richard Nixon.
All right. Anything else? I know we're just kind of swimming around, but it was like,
Nah,
hey, we should
got
talk
no-
about
We got nothing done. Hey,
just like the American government.
maybe.
I think so.
I'm not voicing any opinions.
I
don't know
think
what
the
that is.
summary is that we need to see Air Force One.
Yes. So do yourself a favor. Vote and then go watch Air Force One so you can be a true American.
Do yourself a favor. Put Air Force One on your iPad or tablet, and while you're waiting in line to vote,
That's a good time.
because it's the
saver.
best system ever. Doesn't take 6 hours. Watch that movie.
There you go. As usual, we end every episode with what's piquing your interest, or we just say what's piquing our interest. You guys can always feel free to tell us what's piquing your interest. But, as usual, let's start with Garrett, because I just like to do that. Garrett, what's piquing your interest?
Fine, whatever. So we all watched Strange. Doctor Strange had the Time Stone, which leaves us with the Soul Stone, which has not been uncovered yet. And so I was just reading a lot of like interesting, I guess not really interesting, but little theories of like, oh well, what movie will it show
They're
up
pretty
in next?
boring, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like some were just like it's showing up in Thor, and it's like, okay, what speculation do you have on that? But I don't know. So I guess I was just gonna open the floor real quick to that discussion of like, what movie do you think it would fit best with?
What would?
Soul Stone.
The Soul Stone.
Probably Thor, just because I feel like you are going to get Thanos in that one. And so
Probably.
I feel like that's just going to be like the one, maybe the one he has or something like.
Well, because he had the Mind Stone and he gave it to Loki.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he had
I
a
wouldn't be
couple,
surprised if they just have him have one already, just to have like an initial power
He
to then
grabs
help
the
him get
gauntlet
the
and
other
doesn't
ones.
have it.
He might have it and not have it in the gauntlet.
Some assembly
yet, though.
required, Sam, with
Yeah.
the gauntlet. I mean,
He's got to go bloop.
I think they've been pretty nonchalant with the stones, so I don't think the next one's going to be like a really big deal. But the only thing that I think could possibly happen that I would give mad props for is if Odin lifts up his eye patch and the soul stone is in his eye.
Jesus.
Yep. And that's why they're on the hunt for him, and they finally find him.
Only if we get to see somebody rip it out from the socket, though.
That's how he stays alive after Loki quote unquote killed him.
Exactly. I'm just thinking of
Boom.
Anthony Hopkins lifting that up, having like a bright colored pink eye, and just going
No,
like, ah!
because it'd be the clear one.
Behind a big clear eye, then ah!
I want this now.
Yes.
Let's make this happen.
All
I
right.
just think it's pretty compelling.
Yeah.
Instead of this last one where in Strange is just like, hey, you shouldn't walk around with an Infinity Stone.
What?
An Infinity Stone? Don't worry about it yet. Thanks, Wong. Just say it was
Yeah,
so
I didn't like that
nonchalant.
part.
It's like, cool, man.
Yeah.
How are these things? I don't know. Whatever.
Sam, what's piquing your interest?
Piquing my interest is an interview that Gal Gadot did. And I just don't like the way that this is shifting. We talked before kind of praising how they're not, or at least I did, about how they're not really addressing Wonder Woman's sexuality because who cares? No one cares. I still think I like when she's with Batman, but that's just me. But she did an interview and just kind of went the exact opposite of what she was talking about earlier. And she's like, I think it was an Israeli interview. And like, who would you like to be the love interest in the second one? She's like, Halle Berry.
She's probably just saying stuff.
Yeah, just fucking.
I'm
around.
sure, but I just think
Who's
like
Halle Berry? Nope.
Catwoman.
The Catwoman. It's all connected.
Yeah.
That was like the original.
Yes. You heard it here first.
could Halle Berry still pull off that suit?
Yes.
Probably. Oh, yeah. At
Maybe
50?
not that specific one, but
she-
a
No,
new
no,
version
that
of it.
suit.
She could.
Probably.
Think so?
I think she
Yeah.
More than most other people.
I guess my fear is that like, can we stop? Or
No,
is that going
I
to be
mean, we
is that going to become a
can,
thing where it's
but-
going to get worse and worse as the movie comes out?
It might. It might.
Maybe they were like kind of in the same vein of like, you know, you want Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but I'm not
But I
jawing
mean, like,
about it.
I'm sure, like, because Superman's also had love interest with her. It's like, oh, is it gonna be Batman? Is it gonna be
Super banging.
Superman? Or...
And then she's like, no, Halle Berry.
I feel like that's probably what was like the answer. I feel like it goes along your lines of like,
She's
who
like,
cares?
I don't know Halle Berry. I couldn't understand.
Right.
It was they were speaking in a foreign language that I didn't understand, so I couldn't really get context.
Maybe
or-
it's just like a horrible translation.
she was really saying, "Don't worry about it," and they're like, "Halle Berry."
Yeah, sure.
Charlie, what's piquing your interest?
I just wanted to say that my vote is for sale. So I didn't want to get political on here, but I just wanted to say, you know, the president has a lot of power. They can do executive orders and stuff. And really, Hillary or Donald, whoever wants to make an executive order in the first day, ordering, you know, I hereby proclaim that in order for the United States of America to continue existing and not launch all of our nuclear weapons around the world, John Cena must play Shazam in the Shazam DC Extended Universe movie.
there it is.
Wouldn't be an episode without you if you didn't
So,
say it.
if one of them can promise me that, you got my one vote in Missouri.
If Wonder Woman can do it,
No,
sure.
if one of them.
Oh, they said Wonder Woman.
I just wanted to say that, you know, put that out there. You got like 2 days to contact me personally.
And you will need verification.
Yes.
Not just a text that's like,
Hey, it's DT. I'm ready.
Hill
make it
dog
happen.
here. I got you.
This Shazam movie will be the best movie.
Yes, it will if you if you sign this executive order.
I don't think that's how executive orders work.
Pretty much. That's the whole point of them.
It's clearly not a political podcast where we know about the government.
We just spent
Shit,
20 minutes just talking about it.
We didn't even talk about Palpatine.
He wasn't a president.
He was an emperor.
He was elected.
He was a supreme chancellor.
He was elected.
He was elected.
Yeah, they also
Not
elected
very
the
supreme
employee
in
of the
my
month. Doesn't mean we're
opinion.
gonna talk about
Chancellor
it.
Palpatine, though. Yeah, you're right.
Supreme.
No.
Could have talked about what's his face before him, Chancellor Valoran.
Yeah.
Weak ass Chancellor.
No confidence in that guy.
So,
Joe, it's piquing your interest.
ironically enough, Star Wars. So I was listening to another podcast.
God.
I know.
Sorry.
That one's about hockey though, so I keep it very, very tight. Puck Soup. If you get a chance, I highly recommend it. But
That's a good name.
yeah, I don't know.
He keeps it right.
There you go. Anyway, they also sometimes venture out into like entertainment or whatever, and they were talking about Star Wars with a film critic, and they mentioned, and I agree. Think about when Kylo Ren kills Han in The Force Awakens.
Wait, what?
If you haven't seen the movie, you
We
don't
haven't
care.
hit that year mark.
You don't care if you haven't seen the movie by this point. So when he kills Han, they left out one of the perfect things ever of being like, because Han touches his face right before he falls.
Yeah.
He's like, I would have been. He's like, I was so pissed that Han didn't say I love you. And the guy was like, no, what really would have been is if you would have had a recreation of like the moment where Han's talking to Leia, and it's like, I love you, but instead of like the cocky I know, you just get this cold like I know. And just boom, Han dies. Like the homage to the "I love you, I know."
Who says I know?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Just like
Does he say I love you?
no, he doesn't. But it
if
looks
Han
like
Solo said, "I know," falling to his death. That's the one bad motherfucker. I know.
no. But I feel like like that would have been like a great homage.
I would not have.
It's
cared for
heartbreaking for
Really?
him falling to his death. Like, come on.
that. I would have preferred. I think at that point I would have preferred like I love you, and then Kylo Ren deignites his lightsaber and reignites it again, and then just lets him fall. I think that would have been a little too much. A
little
too
on the nose,
Yeah.
As opposed to Death Star 2 and everything else we got recycled.
Death Star 3.
That's
You're right.
not on the nose. That's just a lazy empire.
I think I would have liked it, but I'm fine that they didn't do it as well. Like, I agree with Sam. It would have been a little like, oh man, that is a little on the nose. But I still would have been like, that's cool.
All right. Well, if you ever have anything piquing your interest, let us know. We'll talk about it on the show as well. And you can contact us to do so, and there's many different ways you can do that. You can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at 3wiseradio or hashtag 3wiseradio. Find us on Instagram at 3wiseradio or on Facebook at 3wisemedia. Charlie, you're part of our sister podcast, Movie Versus, which comes out
On Thursdays.
Yes, it does.
And we just did an episode with Disney Channel original movies. But really, if you want to listen to this episode, if you want to know our opinions on Mickey Rooney, this is a full-on roast of Mickey Rooney. So definitely check this one out because it kind of spirals out of control into like
In the
beautiful
best way
oblivion.
All right.
Perfect. We'll see you next week when we may celebrate a birthday. We're not sure yet.
Whose birthday?
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.